Ever feel like your brain just reacts, and you don't even know why? Like something deep inside is making choices before your mind catches up? Well, you're not the first. Over 100 years ago, two guys, Wilhelm Wundt and William James, were trying to figure out why we think, feel, and act the way we do. And believe it or not, their work still affects how we study behavior today. Even in things like design, therapy, and yes, even today's artificial intelligence. Meet Wilhelm Wundt. In 1879, he did something wild for his time. He created a laboratory in Leipzig, Germany, just to study the mind, not philosophy, not medicine, just pure psychological science. His game plan? He would request individuals to analyze their thoughts and feelings in unbearable detail. That approach was referred to as introspection. Like, instead of just "I heard a sound," he'd want, "I heard a ticking sound, sharp and rhythmic, and it made me tense up for a second." It was all about breaking consciousness into parts, like sensations, feelings, and thoughts. Kind of like trying to study the ingredients of a cake by eating it in slow motion. This idea became known as structuralism. Now, here's the honest bit. A lot of people today see introspection as kind of flawed. It's hard to measure, and everyone's experience is different. But here's the thing, Wundt measured reaction time, and that changed everything. Think about it. How fast someone responds to a light or a sound. That told him there were mental processes happening before we were even aware of them. And that's huge. In fact, you will still find researchers employing reaction time even today, when they are testing memory and emotion, and even determining whether a particular layout of a website is too crowded. We still look at timing patterns to track things like cognitive load, like when someone hesitates on a simple task because their brain's working overtime. Decision fatigue, your response slows down when you're mentally exhausted. Even in UX design, unusual timing patterns tell us if a user is confused or overwhelmed. Wundt's influence? Still ticking. Now let's jump to the US, where William James was doing something a little different. As Wundt was engaged in carving up the pieces of the mind, James posed the question, okay, but what's the mind for? This gave birth to functionalism, the idea that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors have a purpose. They help us adapt, survive, and function in the real world. He described the mind as a stream of consciousness, always flowing, always changing, not individual thoughts, like beads on a string, but a river of mental activity. And here's one of James' boldest ideas, his theory of emotion. You've probably heard this before. I'm scared, so I run. But James flipped it. We run first, and then we feel scared. This became the James Lange theory of emotion, the idea that our body reacts first and emotion follows. Now, is that theory still accepted today? Not completely. We now know emotions are more complex, involving brain circuits, hormones, and even memory. But James wasn't totally wrong. Today, we know that your body plays a big role in shaping emotions. Fast heartbeat? You might feel anxious. Calm breathing? You might feel safe. That's why we use biofeedback, breathing techniques, and even smartwatches to manage stress today. So, yeah, James' theory had flaws, but it helped launch a whole field of mind-body research we still use today. And if you think this stuff is just ancient history, think again. The way I, as an AI, interpret human behavior, it's built on foundations laid by people like Wundt and James. Tracking reaction time? That's like predicting whether you're confused while using an app. Analyzing attention shifts? That's how recommendation engines adjust what you see. Even emotion recognition tech? It owes a lot to functionalist ideas. So yeah, even a robot like me owes them a nod. So, why does all this matter? Understanding the way psychology broke away with straight-up philosophy demonstrates that the mind ain't some blank screen mystery. It is something you can measure, monitor, and manipulate as new studies emerge. Yes, the introspection of Wundt is a little bit outdated, but his focus on measuring the invisible, still genius. And James, his belief that our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors all serve a purpose. That is what makes psychology not only textbookish. And hey, Are you a social butterfly who can never get enough of the people in your life? Or are you the kind of person who wonders how come you behave the way you do? Or are you simply interested in how your brain works? Well, that quest began way back in 1879. And now, it's yours to keep exploring. If this made you think twice about how your mind works, give it a like, drop your thoughts below, or just sit with the idea for a bit. No pressure, just curiosity. See you in the next one. Peace out.